Well, it is April 3rd, 1 month of the Nintendo Switch. The Switch has been released for over a month. It's here. People have been playing it. People have been talking about it. I've made nothing but a gajillion videos about it. Now, a month later, let's go ahead and just look at it, give you my final thoughts, and let's just talk about the system as a whole. To begin with, I absolutely love the Nintendo Switch. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, Eric, that's because you're a Nintendo fanboy and you forgive Nintendo for certain things and this and that. Well, I could, without a shadow of a doubt, honestly say that the Nintendo Switch is probably the most fun I've had with a gaming system in a long time. For the simple fact that the portability of it, being able to take it anywhere and play, has saved me from long waits at the doctor's office, saved me from long waits at meetings, and just all around when I'm editing videos, when I'm just watching TV and I'm kind of wanting to play Legend of Zelda on the go, or Fast RMX, or even Bomberman, or just any kind of game that I have. It's very handy to just be able to have it in a tablet mode with the Joy-Cons attached to it and playing it. To me, that's the biggest selling point, that you can take it anywhere, do multiplayer on the go. Just that alone to me is the big selling point of the Nintendo Switch. And of course, it's always great to, you know, dock it at home, play on your TV. The variety of games may not be too particularly big right now. I know a lot of people say, oh, this is a Legend of Zelda machine. And that's okay, within theory, that could be a reasonable argument. But I've had a great experience playing a lot of games that, even though they're ports to the Nintendo Switch, I missed out the first time they were released on other platforms. As of this video right now, this is my Nintendo Switch physical game collection. I also have a good amount of downloads on my Nintendo Switch, but as you can see, I've gone a little Switch crazy. Of course, a big part of that is because I've also imported a lot of games due to the Switch being region free, which I think that is another awesome selling point. Not every game has compatibility with English language. For example, Puyo Puyo Tetris does not have English language menus, but you don't need English to play Puyo Puyo or Tetris. Once you get to the game mode that you want to play, you just basically play the game like normal. So it's not that hard. But there are games such as Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, which are completely in Japanese. Instructions, menus, voice acting, everything about it is in Japanese. And while I did eventually start to play most of the levels and stuff, it kind of was frustrating not being able to understand what the hell was going on without looking at a guide online for like the PS4 version or something like that. Some games did have capability though with English. Am Setsuna was fully translated, which was very nice. And this was an example of a game that I did not get to play the first time around. I did not experience Am Setsuna on the PS4, so I got it on the Nintendo Switch, and I really enjoyed it. It was pretty linear for a game, kind of short, but it was a very emotional journey for me, and it was not like anything else I've really played. It kind of did remind me a lot of the old school RPG games from back in the day, and I think it was a good game, a good experience for me to play on the Switch. Of course, Legend of Zelda must play. It's on the Wii U as well, but you can't take the Wii U wherever you want. You could take the Switch wherever you want. This game, hundreds of hours spent on it, lots of content. If you haven't played it yet, you have to get this. If you get a Switch, you have to have this. And of course, we have other games. Bomberman, a little pricey for what you're getting. If you're a big Bomberman fan, I recommend it, but a lot of people have met this game with criticism. I actually kind of got bored after a while. Never been a big Bomberman guy, but that's another game that you could play multiplayer on, in addition to Fast RMX on the Switch, which reminds me a lot of F-Zero. There's a lot of games that kind of remind me of a lot of things on there. Of course, 1-2 Switch, probably the worst Switch game out there, to be quite honest. It had the idea, but it didn't execute it very well. Of course, we got Binding of Isaac. Great game, lots of replayability. Pretty tough. I suck at it. Other games I got, Has-Been Heroes, 20 bucks, well worth it. GameStop exclusive for the physical copy, only 20 bucks. You can't beat that. It's a roguelike game. Lots of replay value on it also because it's randomized and there's hundreds of spells and things that you can look at. Pretty good. And of course, Just Dance. I'm a Just Dance fan. So yeah, and then in addition to that, we got Neo Geo titles on the Switch. We got independent titles like Shovel Knight. We also have Snake Pass, which I think is a dark horse contender for Switch Game of the Year. Okay, maybe not that great, but it is one of the best. Overall, while the system may seem a little underpowered, I do think that it is a good investment and a great leap from the Wii U. A lot of people have complained about issues like screens being scratched or the consoles being bent. I've not had that. My dock has not, thankfully, messed up my Switch. Everything's in good shape. I've had no problems. My Joy-Con did have a little bit of issues, but I synced it using the button options on the menu, and I haven't had trouble since. I'm actually a big fan of this, and I've been getting games in left and right, which is why there's so many Switch videos out there. I can understand why people might not be willing to buy a Switch yet because of the game library not really being as high volume, but that's expected with any launch. I mean, everything starts from somewhere and eventually builds up. I think within 6 months, you know, the fall would be probably the perfect time to get a Nintendo Switch if you're not a die-hard fan. But there is games like ARMS and Mario Kart 8 coming out. Lego City Undercover's coming out literally tomorrow that keep you playing. There's Seiya 5, I don't even know how to pronounce that word. There's a lot of stuff. You can import games that aren't over here yet if you're willing to. You can download stuff off the eShop from Japan if you make a Japanese eShop account. There's a lot of stuff you could do with the Switch. Me personally, I'm glad that I got it day one. I know a lot of people might not think it's worth it yet because it's not what they quite expected, but a lot of those people probably aren't going to buy a Switch anyway. I personally think it's great, and I'm looking forward to what E3 entitles. I think there's going to be a lot of games being announced that are going to be quite the shocker. And maybe I might be a little too positive and optimistic about it, but I do think there's going to be a great E3. And I think now is the best time to ever be a Nintendo fan. And well, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later on the Switch side.